Hey everyone, welcome back to a late night talk with me, Phil1Up. So, if you saw the video I recently put up of Christmas with my family, we were at my sister's and I got a little tipsy and played her MetaQuest 2. If you know me, I have thought that VR was a gimmick, that the technology wasn't there, it's not going to be a good experience, it's just a weird thing. And I have said this up and down on social media, had no interest in VR whatsoever, because I thought it would be stupid to have some thing on your head, a bucket on your head, to play video games when the TV is perfectly fine. Well, I'm here in this video to eat crow. That's right. I'm not going to say that I'm 100% sold on VR, but what I experienced briefly playing it at my sister's really impressed me. I was left totally flabbergasted. So when she put this machine on me, at first it just felt really weird and it was kind of blurry. I don't know if it's because my eyes aren't good or maybe the lenses on the inside need to be clean. And the controls are kind of like joysticks with triggers on it. And then it has like a pad with some face buttons on it. And that has this circular wrap around your hand. So you're holding it like this and you have that strap around. But then it also has these other little holster straps that you can put around your wrist. It's similar to the Wii remotes. And then you can tighten it so that you don't accidentally fling these controllers across the room, because there's two of them and they're separate and they're not tied to anything. They're just floating, which is great. And it made me think when I was playing, it's like, man, these felt really good for long sessions of play. If the technology when they came out with the Wii would have been on par with this MetaQuest 2, the Wii would have been even better than it was, because I, for one, think the Wiimote and the nunchuck felt awful. I did not enjoy playing that. I played all of Twilight Princess with those controls, and I really loved the game, but I didn't want to stop. But I was getting massive cramps because of the Wiimote. Like, I just did not like it. And then the sensor bar on it sometimes just wouldn't queue up right. So I just really did not enjoy the Wii because of that. But man, playing this MetaQuest 2 is like they took what the Wiimote and nunchuck had and made it 10 times better. It just felt so good, and the controls were so seamless. So when I put this helmet on, the first thing that I noticed was the sound. So obviously I'm in my sister's kitchen / dining room, and there's talking going on and cooking and whatnot, and pots and pans clinking, and she's cleaning and running water, and she's trying to talk to me, and the sound coming from this headset is like totally all around me. Like, there's everywhere I'm turning my head, I can hear whatever is going on in this game, and it was so distracting and so jarring, because it's like I could barely hear my sister, and then when she would talk to me, it's like I'm looking around for her, but all I'm seeing is the visuals of this virtual world or this game. And when she put it on me, I see this VR virtual room, which I guess is like a home station. And it's like looking out at like ocean or the beach, and it's got like chairs and a fire crackling over here. And there's like little menus to make your own VR AI character, kind of like on Xbox 360, you could create your avatar. It was similar to that. But I looked at my sister's avatar and it really looked like her. And I was like, wow, this is cool. But I didn't really understand the controls or how to do anything. But she got me navigated around to where I could get into an actual game. But now I don't know how long sessions are, because I probably played it about an hour. And I can't really say if it felt too heavy on my head. I don't really fondly remember that my face was getting sweaty or my eyes were getting sweaty. Maybe because I just wasn't paying attention because I was just so starstruck by everything going on. So obviously her Met Quest 2 came with Beat Saber, which I didn't get to play, but I did get to play Resident Evil 4 on this thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, the original Resident Evil 4, not the remake. If you love Resident Evil 4 and you think you've experienced Resident Evil 4, you have not experienced any damn thing. Until you play Resident Evil in VR, you have not experienced it. Because I remember playing that game originally on the GameCube, so you couldn't move and shoot at the same time. And when you were moving your gun, the laser sight, you tried to line it up against the infected, aim for their head or their hands, so you could shoot the weapon out of their hand, shoot a Molotov out of their hand, or stun them. And it was always so slow. It's like, it felt like Leon took forever to get the sights of the laser aimed up. The VR experience, everything, you see everything. There's no break in the visuals, right? So when you turn your head up, you see the sky, and you get to see all of the game. You get to see part of the game that you never got to see before because it was in third person, and they only wanted you to see what they wanted you to see. But in VR, you get to literally look around the whole environment. You get to look at things that didn't get much detail because now you are literally looking through the eyes of Leon. And when you move the controller up to your peripheral vision, you literally see Leon's hand. And you can point and move his trigger finger. And it's so crazy. And like, the controls are so awesome. So everything that you do, like when you would really use a gun, you do that in VR. This was so cool. And I remember looking around, walking around. And you remember when the game begins for the first time and you see a couple of crows there, right? It's like the first thing you can really take aim at and shoot. The controls in VR are so butter smooth. You are able to get precision shots and aim exactly at what you're trying to shoot, even when the foe is in motion, because of how responsive it is. When the Granado or whatever they're called are coming at you, I could get a headshot almost every single time. It was so crazy how accurate and responsive it was. It felt like the game was on easy mode, pretty much. It's like I had auto aim assist on, but I didn't. I was just able to really control Leon and get the proper shots off. And keep in mind, my eyes aren't good. And the interesting thing is you can actually see enemies that are further off screen now you couldn't before in third person. Another thing that's really awesome, in the original Resident Evil 4, the knife was kind of useless. You would use it to open boxes, but that was pretty much it. And the reason why that is because in third person, you can't really tell the distance between you and the enemy. The way the camera is set in the original Resident Evil 4, it's like a behind Leon's back. So you can't really see in front of him and tell the distance. You just kind of have to guess. So a lot of times you're swiping the air because you don't know how far away you are from them. So 99% of the time, you just shoot the enemies and then you kind of back away and then pull your gun up and shoot again. You don't ever let them get close to you. So the knife really never gets any action. But in VR, it's totally different. You can tell how far away you are from the Granado. And you can literally go up to them and you can knife the shit out of them. When I was in that village section and there was a bunch of them coming at you, man, I had like 4 or 5 of them lined up and I was knifing the shit out of them, roundhouse kicking them. I was laughing my ass off because I was like, oh my gosh, the knife is freaking OP in this game, but you never knew because the freaking third person camera angle made it impossible to tell. And it was just an amazing experience. When you find the dog that's trapped in the bear trap, you actually crouch down and use both of your hands to separate the trap, and you feel the tension of it, and you free him. Guys, it was such a phenomenal experience that I don't know if I could play Resident Evil 4 the original third person view anymore after that. Like, it. And what made it even crazier is the fact that I'm sitting here in my sister's kitchen. I'm stationary. I'm not playing it standing up, because you can play it standing up, moving around, or stationary. I was stationary, and I was sitting in a shitty chair, so I wasn't really comfortable. But I was afraid to move because I couldn't tell where I was. Like, I remember I'm in my sister's kitchen, but I can't see anything other than this shanty, creepy ass Resident Evil 4 European village, right? I'm literally seeing chickens and Granada walking around and crows crowing, and I'm afraid to move. It's like I feel so disoriented. Shit, am I gonna fall out of this chair? I can't tell. That's how surreal it is. You literally feel like you're transported there. I felt like I was like Sword Art Online for a moment. Like, I really did. Like, when I was playing this, it felt like, oh my gosh, what is VR going to be in 10 years? And I think what really made me have such a sour disposition about it was the fact that when you're seeing those VR games on a TV, they're advertising it, you'll see like a floating hand, and it just looks so shitty, and it doesn't look right. But it's only when you're actually playing it does it finally click with you. You're not going to have that aha, epiphany, click moment until you experience it. So if you have a place you can go that has a VR kiosk that you can try, I highly recommend you do it. Because I was telling my sister, I was like, damn, I think I want to get one of these myself, because I believe hers was only like $250. And she was telling me, man, I wasn't even going to let you try it because you're all a naysayer and you think VR's shitty and you're going to put it down, and here you are changing your tune. You're a leopard changing its spots. And I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. I will say I am still on a little side of caution, because as great as the Resident Evil 4 experience it was in VR, is that the experience I will have with every VR game? Will every VR game be as good as that? Or will a lot of them be really crummy, gimmicky games that don't really have any staying power? How long will I have that euphoric feeling when playing VR? Will it wear out after a few hours, or maybe after a week? Will I be bored with it? I don't really know. Will it cause strain on my eyes? Will it like mess up with my vision when my vision already isn't good? There's a lot of questions that I have. Like, is it really good for you to play VR games for long, extended periods of time? Can I really sit on my ass and play VR for like 6 hours at a time, Resident Evil 4, and not have any problems? Or will I have like a major headache or some other issues there? And then it just comes down to the quality of the games, because VR kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it's because of like the Xbox Kinect and the PlayStation Move for the 360 and the PS3. It was such like a shitty thing. I guess it was Sony and Microsoft trying to tap into what Nintendo was doing with the Wii, and all that stuff. Just, I ignored all of it because I thought it was all shitty. And that's kind of been my view for VR. But I had such a good time with the hour and a half-ish that I played, that it would be really cool to just sit here and play with it for long periods of time. I will say, though, when it comes to VR, I don't think I would want a VR experience on consoles. And the reason why I say this is because you're tethered to that console. I would not ever recommend somebody pay 500 buckaroos for the VR for the PlayStation 5. Partly due to the fact that the first VR on PS4 is not compatible with the VR2 on PS5. Neither is any of the games. So everybody that invested in that, Sony just flipped you the bird and said, F you, buy the sequel. And that's shit. The MetaQuest 2, 3, whatever they're going to come out with, you can literally sit on your ass in the bathroom, taking a dump, if you want, I ain't gonna judge you, and you can play VR. You don't have to have some other device to do it. It's literally the headset the little floating controllers, and that's it. You're good to go. I don't know how long the battery life lasts on this thing. I don't know if the little controllers need their own separate battery. No idea. But the fact is that you can literally play it wherever you want. You can lay in your bed and literally play VR. Now, when it comes to, well, what about physical games and collecting, and how do you feel there? As much as I love to collect physical games, with the MetaQuest, it's all digital titles, and if they pull those off that digital storefront, I don't know if you lose those forever or what. I have no idea. For what I'm thinking here about VR, I feel like having physical games for that and lugging those around will kind of get in the way of the experience of just putting the damn thing on and playing it. They did a great job of making this so easy to take with you and easy to just pull out and play. You don't have to worry about cartridges or discs or memory cards or this or that. You just have the headset, the controllers, and you're ready to go. So yeah, I may very well look into this MetaQuest thing, see what they're doing, see what other games they're going to come out with. If they end up having a decent selection of titles, and I mean, it might be worth investing in it. That's my thoughts on VR. That's my experience with Resident Evil 4 in VR. I think it's fantastic. If you are a huge fan of Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil in general, you have got to play it in VR. Let me know what you think down below, how you feel about VR. Do you have a MetaQuest? Do you have some other VR device? What is your favorite VR game? What is your favorite VR device? Which one would you recommend? Is the MetaQuest good or is it not? Just let me know down below if you have anything to add to this video, or you know anything about the MetaQuest, you had experience with it, because I want to know. Until next time, happy gaming and collecting, and let's all one up our collections together. All right, bye.
What are you buying?
Phil1Up collects. Subscribe to join the 1UP family today, and let's all one up our collections together. Happy gaming and collecting, everyone. See you real soon.